Good morning, everyone. Really pleased to be here this morning. As Julie said, I'm Julie Vellucci. I'm the Head of Regeneration Regulatory Services at the Council. New in role. I've been here for 5 months, so looking around, I know some faces in the audience. I don't know everybody, and hopefully as things develop, we'll get to know each other a lot better. From me, I'm Newport born and bred, so what I'm going to talk about is very much the changes that have happened in Newport, what is about to happen and what is going to continue. But for me, it's both on a personal and a professional level, because Newport, it's me, it's where I was born and where I plan on staying. So first of all, just a little look back at the sort of the last 8 to 10 years, sort of what has happened in the city centre, or in the city, I should say. We think about sort of the river to begin with and what's happened along there with the theatre, the walkways and the boulevards all along the riverside, down to the city footbridge, that lovely iconic footbridge that we now have sort of in the centre. Along to the George Street areas and the new office blocks and all of the development that's happened along there that's really regenerated that whole part and whole stretch of the river. Got the new Aston, the new Sainsbury's and the Riverside Park, which has recently won some awards, some beautiful landscape and everything along the riverside. So just further along then, there's been work across the Kingsway car park and the whole shopping centre. We'll be talking more about leisure and retail shortly. To enable that to happen, there was a big push to sort of get the compulsory purchase orders within the city centre to ensure that the future developments could happen, and that was a big push a few years ago, and now we're seeing that sort of come into fruition. So through the walkways right along the river that take us right way east and west along the river, so we've got lovely walkways along to appreciate all of the development that has happened across the river, and then all of the housing as well. So this has all been around developing Newport as a place to sort of live, to work and to enjoy. So it's the whole picture is around the development. Talking very much about housing then, just slightly out from the city centre, we're going in then to the Alexandra Gate, the Red Road development, Mariners Quay, with some excellent affordable housing, Sanders along there, and other business type developments we've had with more units and more affordable units throughout the centre. Of course, we've got a university, that beautiful building on the riverfront as well, and how that has managed to link all the enhancements of the city centre just to make the centre just a much more attractive place, I think, it's been in the past. More to happen, of course. So where are we now? What are we now thinking of? So what I've talked about very much is the physical regeneration. There have been some major changes here over the last 8 to 10 years. The regeneration of any city is more than just the physical side. And we want to just take a moment just to talk about what else is happening to support businesses, to develop skills, to also supplement then the physical regeneration. We're going to think about the regeneration of the city. We have to include people within that. We want people to be in the city, work in the city, and improve and develop. So it's very much about bringing and ensuring that we have jobs for the people of Newport and the relevant skills that you as employers wish to have in you developing your businesses. So there are some schemes that we do through the council for business support, financial assistance in the way of grants and loans. We look at sort of helping to look at businesses, business premises, what we can do to help them relocate into move on businesses and into bigger areas. We do have some expert advice, we work very closely with the Chamber as well in delivering that expert advice to all our businesses across Newport. Very much on the startup support is one of our areas that we're looking at the moment. If we can encourage new businesses in, how can we support that startup business through business planning and through, say, financial assistance in the way of loans, but also there is some grants available as well. And our schemes were launched actually not that long ago, and there's the first grant recipient is up there, but it's something new that we're looking at and just trying to work with businesses to see that we can meet the needs that are there. Talking more on the skills side, beginning next week actually, we see the launch of what is the Workplace Learning Academy. This is working across the city to say how can we encourage the younger people within the city to come into work. What do you as employers want? Where are the gaps in the skills of the staff that you wish to have? So how can we train them and bring them into the workplace? So through the Workplace Learning Academy, particularly targeting the young people that have maybe been long-term unemployed, people that are leaving care. We've also got schemes around looking at sort of graduates and looking for apprenticeships. And the scheme is very much looking at sort of paid and unpaid placements within businesses to say, well, how could you take on people in these categories? Could you take them on and encourage and develop them? And of course, there's financial assistance in doing that. The big launch of that actually is next week, with a cabinet member for Regeneration will be launching that next week at Malthus Court, and we'll give you more details. Generally then, thinking about sort of employment, and again, this employment charter, thinking about the skills that we need. So as the council are working with other partners, we can act as a gateway really for looking at you as businesses, what do you want? How can we put together a package of, it could be a financial package in the way of training and development, as we talked about grants and loans, to really train and skill up your workforce. And we have a business support team who's willing to sort of come and sort of talk to you and see sort of what you can do, what are your needs, where are your gaps. Because if we're going to look forward to continue regenerating the city, we have to make sure that you as employers have the workforce that you need to help that regeneration. Because if you can get people within Newport working and contributing back to the city, it is that cycle that will help the regeneration. So as Gilly talked about earlier, Newport Unlimited and the wonderful legacy that has been from the work that they have done, it's now making sure that we bring the people into that rather than just the physical side. Just to touch on some stats at the bottom, we've had some fantastic success around this, and around about over the last 12 months, of the young people that have come through these schemes, over 50% of them have actually sustained employment afterwards. So there is the training, and actually 70% I should say, of sustained employment after that initial period of placement. So there is some excellent success that we've had around that support within your businesses. So what's on the cards? Vibrant, viable places. We submitted on Monday a bid to Welsh Government for £14.9 million, which is looking to what we call it reconnect Commercial Street. What I've talked about up until now was very much at the sort of maybe the city centre, the top area of the city centre, and what we're now looking at is what do we need to do next? What's the next part of our main city area that we need to regenerate? Vibrant and viable places is looking how we can increase employment within our city centre, bring housing into our city centre, and work in what is a private area of a community first central cluster. So what we're looking to do, we're looking to say just short of £15 million is the grant that we're looking at. This overall scheme itself, however, is worth an awful lot more than that. It's more around the £50 million is the package of the work that we're actually looking to do. 1,800 new jobs will come out of this. So it's going to be 166 new homes and over 200 existing homes being upgraded. Fuel poverty exactly being one area of our target. We'll know our success of that within the next few months. It's a really exciting development, and one that we're working very closely right across the third sector and private sector to develop. So it's a watch and hope at this point. Some of the reflections and some of the sort of physical regenerations happen sort of within our city, linking me into just the final part. What does the future bring for regeneration in Newport? Newport Unlimited has been the physical body that's grant funded physical regeneration over the last 10 years. Sort of finishes now at the end of this financial year. And we're currently working and thinking, what is the new model that we need for the city? What do we need to take us over for the next 10 to 20 years? That work is happening at the moment, and it's something that we'll be talking to you as the businesses of Newport about. We don't know what that is yet. That is very much under development and under discussion. We'll know about the viable places outcome, very exciting, and will give us the final link that we need to sort of finish the regeneration of the city centre. Obviously, the Newport Task Force, they will be releasing their report very soon on the work that they've done in sort of speaking to Newport people and seeing what is needed. We've talked with them very closely over a vibrant and viable places bid, and we know that the work that they'll be suggesting and what we are putting forward will complement each other. So we've got a whole area of looking at how we can develop Newport together in partnership. Of course, we've got the Super Connected Cities, which Mark will talk about, and the Friars Walk development, which will also be talked about now by Stuart. So I won't go into any detail on them. But I just wanted to finish by saying that what I've talked about there is not a random list of projects. There's a lot that's happened. I have whistled through that in sort of the 10 minute slot that I have. A lot has happened, a lot is planned. But it's not just a mismatch. A while ago, there was a plan put together for the city centre. How do you want our city centre to look? And hopefully from what I've talked about, you can see that there is a master plan that sits behind it. We take the river, the Newport Gateway, the new railway station, where we've got the Admiral building coming in, The market quarter, the market is now reopened after its redevelopment, the high street, bringing the buses back through the high street and the redevelopment there. Linking through to the retail quarter, the next big development that's about to happen. The arts and creative quarter, bringing in the riverfront and the university, and of course all the bit that I did concentrate on at the beginning, all along the riverside. So we have a plan. There was a plan and it's being followed. The next part of Vibrant and Viable just links onto the bottom of that to continue the regeneration of Newport right down through the river. That's it for me. Sorry, it was a rather quick run through. We are going to take, I think, the presentation through, but any questions I'm happy to take at the end, but I will be hanging around at the end. So if everybody wants to have a chat to me, I'm more than happy. I'll be here later. Thank you.